if anybody's looking for something that you're going to see quick results with, cardio is one of them. It's the
Mhm.
quickest to come and quickest to go, right? So if it's just, getting a faster mile time, so you just run 1 mile every day and just try to get that time down, that's going to be something that's pretty easy to improve on every day.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's a big one too, is like another dogma is that like if you go to the gym it has to be an hour, 2 hours, like it definitely doesn't. Going for a 10-minute walk when you got nothing else going on, or you're waiting to go into a meeting or something and you got a half hour,
Right.
like go take a 10-minute walk. Like it's gonna help. It definitely has a hormonal effect, and just having the blood flowing is gonna make you feel better throughout the day. And
And even that
it
small little achievement too.
yeah, so it's kind of rough, just trying to convince people to do those little things because they don't seem worth it, but I promise they are. It's like just those little things add up and can make for such dramatic effects
Mhm.
on your mood and your happiness and stuff like that. So
Yeah. Especially both physically and mentally. Because, like, a good example with me is that I've always had a very scrawny back. And then when I lived in California and I was doing some landscaping work in my backyard, I ended up pulling the muscle just on like that center muscle that's right along the spine. I pulled on the left
mhm.
side. And so I've always had issues with my back to where I'd get like sharp pains and everything. And it's because I had no muscle built back there. But for me, just doing these 13 weeks so far of just doing the small amount of cardio that I do, but doing the exercises that just makes it feel comfortable for me, I've been able to like improve my back a lot. My back was probably one of the biggest surprises to me because I haven't really been focusing on it. But just those small little achievements, those small little progression points led to something that a lot bigger. And now I very rarely feel that back pain. And not
Mhm.
only that, but it's like mentally, I feel like I have a lot more confidence to go in there. A lot more confidence in just like everyday things, and just even like applying a small achievement in the gym to a small achievement with just like getting an everyday tasks done still has that positive association.
Yeah, and here's a little more positive association for you. It just kind of came to me as you were saying that, and it's something that I think about all the time. But blood flow,
Hmm.
like just increasing blood flow to one of those areas for 20 or 30 minutes is going to have positive effects, not only like on all the stuff that I said with being happier and feeling better, but also just the gym motive. Like you're going in there to build, you're going in there to get stronger. If you hit back one day and then you go in the next day and you don't feel as good, but you still go through the motions, maybe you only do like 75% of the weight that you did the day before, it's all right because you're going to start getting some blood through there. It's going to deliver more nutrients. It's going to recover it faster and probably in a more efficient way.
And then because you
So
still managed to get in there and do it.
yeah. And like that's one of the biggest motivations for cardio for me is that whenever you're building your cardio, I think it's the left atrium of the heart that starts to grow, and it starts to make it so that your body's able to deliver oxygen more efficiently to the muscles so that you can work out in weightlifting harder and with more intensity. So
Mhm.
it kind of all goes hand in hand. And I hate um, the dogma in the fitness industry that running will destroy muscle because I mean I I
Yeah,
haven't
I've
seen
heard
it.
that
I
too.
run an extreme amount, I feel, and just me going in and stimulating the muscles as often as I do, which is 3 to 5 days a week, um, it's enough. And I mean, I'm not growing probably as quickly as I could, but I'm at least maintaining. And I would say that I'm growing because I feel like I look better now than I did 2 months ago in some muscle groups. So
Yeah.
I think that the whole running messes with muscle gains thing is just a myth, and that if you run and only run, yeah, you're going to shrink, but that's because your body's adapting to running. So it's going to get lighter and it's going to get more efficient at doing that. But if you're running and lifting, then your body's not just going to disregard one goal for the other. It's
Yeah,
going
it's
to try to
balancing it
adapt,
out.
yeah, to what you're doing, which again is another reason to try to do just a little bit every day rather than going and killing yourself like 1 day a week, if you can get in and just let your body know, like, hey, I like to lift and I also like to run, what can we do? Then your body can make little adjustments as you go and
Right.
probably in the long run make a lot more gains. So yeah, I think you got a good thing going on there at the pyramid, and I'd like to see you running a little bit more, but
Yeah, I plan on, I'm not going to give too many spoilers for this because this is a future plan, but me and my friend JJ, he's the
uh-huh.
one that I had on previous episodes,
Yeah,
we're a big thing that we're emphasizing right now is cardio. So I plan on building up my cardio from right now. I just finally achieved the ability to run an entire mile without stopping, but we're shooting a
yeah.
lot higher. I want to be able to get like 5, 8+ miles in cardio.
Rolling is probably the most intense cardio there is. So
Rolling.
yeah, like MMA rolling, like
Oh
wrestling and
yeah.
stuff. So definitely I would consider that a cardio session more than anything if you're like writing out a plan or anything. So
Mhm.
um anybody out there too that just doesn't like running but maybe like wrestling, that's killer conditioning. And I did the wrestling team in high school for a month before I called it quits, but that was the most intense training that I think I've ever done was wrestling training. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when I was um like a problem with me is that it takes a lot for me to actually build a sweat going with just regular gym exercise. And that's
Mhm.
why I've always really liked MMA, because as soon as I go into MMA and I start doing grappling, wrestling, BJJ and everything, boy, I am just soaked from head to toe. It is,
Mhm.
yeah, it's such a high intense workout because at the what's really especially good motivator and what really builds the cardio with it is, look, the other person that you're trying to wrestle with, he's
Mhm.
trying to pin you and he's trying to submit you. You don't
Yeah.
want that to happen and you want to do it to him at the same time. So it's
Yeah.
this constant like little wrestling clash, and both people are having to constantly figure out when to use the highs and lows of their energy, and you're just constantly seeing a nonstop pace go with it where it just really tears away with cardio.
Yeah. I've definitely always been a lover, not a fighter. So the combat sports have,
Yeah.
I don't think they ever attached me too much. And when I was in wrestling, I would wrestle the other guy, and it would always be like that could be a motivator, but usually it was like, oh man, like he looks really mad at me, like I hope I didn't offend him or something. He's probably just like in the zone trying to fucking get his points and shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I was never in that headspace. So for me, I've always been like a solo sport type guy. I swam, now I ran the powerlifting meet and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think cardio is great. It's definitely an acquired taste. I used to hate it because my knees were so bad from being overweight and sitting and playing video games all the time that it was pure pain from start to finish anytime I ran.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is just one of those things that, you put the miles in, every mile is going to make the next one easier. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely stick with it. And my source of motivation for cardio, or at least running, has always been like Lord of the Rings, or if anybody plays Skyrim or something,
Yeah.
you're just forcing your character to run like all the way across the freaking country to go do these quests and stuff. And it's like, he can do it, why can't I? And like,
Exactly.
so I always think of freaking Lord of the Rings whenever I'm running, and I think it's cool. And actually I have a Pandora station that does the soundtrack for the movies.
Do
So every
you
now and then I
really?
like, yeah, I imagine myself getting like the sweet aerial shot of me like running across the landscape.
That's awesome.
um but yeah, so yeah, no, I mean, I did my freaking half marathon pretty much a month ago. I think it was the 21st of May. And then the
Okay.
lifting meet was the 26th of June. So it was about a month apart. And this is the strongest I've ever been, period. Like my old squat max was like 250, and my old deadlift max was like 340. My bench was pretty high. It was like 250 before. So that only went up about 20 pounds. But the
Okay.
other two, I mean, my squat went up 70 pounds. My deadlift went up uh 20 pounds as well. I tried 417, which would have been like an all-time record. I probably could have got 405, but yeah. And yeah, and that's in close proximity to running 8 miles a day.
Yeah.
Like for anyone out there that is scared of cardio, please don't be. It's my roommate actually put it really nicely. He called it the momentum of fitness. Like just getting
That
good
is
at
actually a good
one
way to put
thing.
it.
Yeah, getting good at one modem of fitness might motivate you to get good at another.
Hmm.
And then getting all of them.
And then building that discipline in one
Mm-hmm.
area will kind of like apply everywhere else.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's why I feel like with me especially, you build a habit of going to the gym, it's going to really build a habit of promoting good mental health for yourself, because you can apply the small achievements from everyday working out, building the momentum from running, and applying it across different disciplines. You could also apply it to just kind of everything that you do in daily routine, whether it's in the process of getting cleaning through your house, which even cleaning your entire house can be a cardio exercise
Oh yeah.
depending on how you put
Oh
it.
yeah. I
And
mean, in comparison to sitting on the couch, like you
yeah.
might be burning double the calories. You don't know, depending on the amount of cleaning. You're moving furniture and like
Yeah.
walking around, doing the back and forth reps with the vacuum. Like it really can be
Mhm.
a good amount of calorie burn in comparison.
Yeah.
Um,
And that discipline too can help, it can help you so much too, not just with like the physical discipline, but
uh-huh.
mentally, emotionally, and everything.